Well, welcome in, folks. It's the ACA D1 National Tournament right here at the beautiful Maryville Hockey Center. This is the start of day two. John Hogan is with me, the head coach at Maryville, also the man in charge of all this. He just put out a small fire, folks, and no soot, no smoke. Everything's good. John, I just want to talk to you about a few things to start this thing off, but you played the first game yesterday. I thought for the first 30 minutes you were a really solid hockey team. And then I don't know what happened, but things caught up to you. But yesterday was a rough day for a lot of teams, wasn't it?
Yeah, those first games are always tough. The first day of the games, if it's the play-ins or if it's the 1 through 4 teams playing, they're 1 through 4 for a reason.
Right.
So to your point, we played a really good first period, almost a perfect period of how we had to play, and we were on our toes, we were dictating terms, and it was a good period of hockey. And then the second period, they kind of came back with a little fire, and maybe some of our immaturities and not trusting the game plan that was in place and not playing the way that we were playing in the first. When you play a good team, they can score 4 goals in 5 minutes.
Right.
And in a blink of an eye, it's 4-0, and at that point, they get one at the end of in the second to make it 5-0 to kind of really put the dagger in. And at that point, the guys kind of knew that, okay, this is it's an uphill battle, and this is going to be a hill that we might not be able to climb. So, ended 9-0. I don't think that maybe was the score didn't maybe translate to how the game was, especially in the first 30 minutes, like you said. But when you play a good hockey team, they make you pay, and that's it's a good for our guys to know that, because you don't know until you know. And
Exactly.
And coaches and the Scott Stranings of the world can tell people, but the players themselves don't know until they're in that experience, in that tournament game, to realize every bounce, every pass, every breakout, every decision that you make, it can be costly. And again, you look at the first goal yesterday. A puck's bouncing, we didn't get it in deep, and then a defenseman, makes not a strong play on the wall, and they chip it by us 2-on-1 back of the net, and hey, you can get away with that in September, October, November, not in March and April. So we're going to use it as a learning experience, and that's how you have to, and you have to, for our guys, don't forget, these things that we've learned. So it's good for us to get that at 10:15 yesterday, and now I can just play tournament host for the rest of the time.
Well, I don't think you wanted to do that. I think you'd prefer to keep playing, but you told me a couple things afterwards, which I thought the maturity of a coach in John Hogan is full set in, because I asked you about the game and the third period, and you said I had my notepad out in the third period, writing on guys who can play for me or not. That's adversity, and that's dealing with adversity, and we've all had to deal with it for a full year. But as a coach, that's a key point, isn't it? Who plays till the very end?
Yeah. I think a lot of our guys they played till the end, and even though it was 7-0, 8-0, and we put Johnny in net there to get some time, our goalies played well, and you're just sitting there saying, okay, when stuff hits the fan, what is your group?
Right.
That's when the true character comes out. And I thought a lot of our guys played hard till the end, but there's some guys that there's a reason why Liberty, Adrian, Lindenwood, it's a reason why they're good year after year, and it's a hard standard to get to. So that's what we want and need to get to, and it takes a full team. It takes all 21 guys that are dressed to get to that point.
Let's remember that you're only a 2-year program, because when I sit back and think and I see what's going on here, I'm going like, you guys have been around a while, right? I was just talking to Cole Bell with Ohio, and he told me that they've been around for 63 seasons. So you look at the differences, and you've built this very, very quickly. But how important was playing this game, this tournament game, for the building of your program in the future?
Well, I think it's huge. I think it's massive, and there's no experience that can mirror it.
Yeah.
There's something about playing in these games that is just exponential for the guys. And we have a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and a couple of juniors that have been in our program from the onset, and they're founding pieces, but at the same level. It's one thing to start a program; it's another thing to build it and to get it to a point where you can look back and say, wow, that was pretty special. So this is the next transition.
Yeah.
We got the building blocks in place, we have the foundational pieces in place, and is it do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And that's the next step for us. That's the transition that we get to make, and that takes a certain type of person, that takes a certain type of team and players to get to that point. So I'm excited. To your point, you're always growing, you're always looking forward. So if you just lick your wounds and kind of just look in the mirror and pout, that's not no one else is going to feel bad for you. So. If you go look at my whiteboard right now, it already says 21-22 next season. So August is going to be here before we know it.
If you keep looking backward like that, something's going to run over you like a bus. And I joked about this at this tournament. I said, 16 buses in the parking lot. Well, maybe not, because you guys probably didn't have a bus here, but 15 buses. And then I said, after a 13-hour day from yesterday, 12 buses. And we're going to keep eliminating 4 buses for the next couple of days, and pretty soon we're going to get down to 2 buses.
Yep.
Nothing, I don't think, epitomizes the ACHA national tournament like that, because these schools come in, they bus in from everywhere pretty much. Nobody really flies. Nope. You get here, you live in your bus. To get here, and you live in your bus to go home. You get to a hotel, you do the different things. What's this experience been like for you as a host?
So it was. I've played in it. I've coached in it. I remember playing in it in Chicago at the Edge Ice Arena, and then I remember going to Columbus as a player, and as a coach. So that experience itself is a lot of traveling, and it's a road trip on steroids. Hosting is a whole different animal,
Right.
in its own, and it's for me it's nice that the players can sleep in their own beds. Get meals, be with family, all those kind of things. But there's a lot going under, kind of behind closed doors and behind the scenes. And, if that's what we have to do to host a good tournament and to put on a good show for the ACHA and their, family and friends, we'll do what we can. Like you said, you just put out the little fires and make sure there's not too much smoke. So I think for the most part, it's gone well, and it's been a great experience for our guys. Because we've to your point, we've only been around for 2 years. One of them was a full season. The other year was a COVID season. So I don't really think that even counts as 2 seasons. We haven't played a lot of teams. We also haven't seen a lot of teams.
Right.
So when Lindenwood, Adrian, Liberty, Minot, you go down the list, when they all come in your building, and our guys get to see them play. It's not watching on hockey TV or watching online. They get to see it firsthand. And they got to play against that and to feel that, not just see it. They got to feel it firsthand yesterday, and the mental and the physical drain of a national tournament game and what it takes to win and to be competitive in those games. So it's a great experience for us as a staff, for us coaches, and for our program to be able to host and to play in it just for our second year at D1.
Well, I have heard nothing but compliments everywhere I've been around this building. I think it's a perfect setup. I mean, you got practice rink that you don't even know practices are going on, really, because if you're focused on the tournament, you don't even know that side of the rink exists. Yep. And then all of a sudden you walk over there and you go, oh my God, there's a practice going on over here. So you got that, but the setup here has been absolutely perfect. I know from the media sense, I couldn't be more pleased with what you've done for me, so thank you for that. The ability to get close and get photos even during a COVID time has been really good, so I think we got a bunch of good ones on that. But final thing, how has COVID affected it? It seems like you guys are moving through it pretty well.
Yeah, so we COVID tested everyone, and we've have had some bumps there a little bit, but for the most part, all 16 teams are able to play, and some other NCAA and some other tournaments can't say that. So we've put a pretty extensive mitigation plan in place and some testing protocols in place. So. I know we're not the NCAA, but we're trying to do the right things as well. And I think the ACHA, along with Maryville, have put a pretty good plan in place, and we've been following it to the T, and it's been good thus far. So no big COVID concerns, but it's you take it day by day, as we live these days through a pandemic. So everyone has a mask on and doing the things that we need to do.
final one for you is tell me a little bit about your staff here, because they've done a fantastic job as well. I mean, you're overseeing this thing a little bit, but there are tons of people, including your brother, that you put to work. So tell me how it's all going to make sure everything is run smoothly as it has been for at least the first day and a half.
Yeah, it takes a village. So, the folks with the Chesterfield Hockey Board who, own the facility, and the rink staff in terms of cutting the ice and temperature checking and, cleaning, disinfecting the locker rooms and the benches. They're all great. And we have D2 players that are, box attendants and, doing the score sheet and putting pucks out. And then, got family members that are working the admission table, doing the pass list things. And you got the ACHA folks that are, observing and facilitating and kind of overseeing things, if that's Russ or Andy or Brian Moran. So it takes a village. It truly does. And there's a lot of moving parts, and you just got to have confidence that you've done all the preparation and know that things are going to pop up. But, hey, we did our best, and you just put them out as they come. And, again, thus far we've had some good games, and hopefully continue to have good games in a healthy environment, again, for close family and friends to be able to come out and see their kids play in a pandemic. And hopefully we don't have to do as much of this 365 days from now when we're doing it in, I guess, in March for the 2022 tournament, which will be over at Centene next year. Absolutely.
Well, I'll let you go, because this is a busy Saturday? What day is it?
I don't know.
It's Saturday noon.
It ends in a Y. I know that.
And I will sit down and visit with you before championship game on Tuesday night. I'm going to be here the whole time.
Absolutely.
So hopefully don't get too sick of me and throw me out. I know Toppy was thinking about maybe just rolling me out last night, but I'm staying.
Yep, it's okay. It's fine by me, Scott.
Thanks, John Hogan. I appreciate everything that you do for us and for hockey. And what a success story you already are, because nobody would have ever thought that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when you were talking about starting this program, building a building, here you are in the national tournament, and you played Liberty to a 0-0 tie 30 minutes into a game. So kudos to you. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate it, my friend.